It's time now for Roger Hurricane Wilson's American Music Show here on 88.5 KALA. Sit back and enjoy an hour of great American music with your host, longtime touring musician, recording artist, songwriter, and guitar instructor, Roger Hurricane Wilson.
I've been partaking of the grape the night before, and I looked at it and thought, I'd gladly donate somebody my brain this morning. And I got to thinking about it, now how would that work? If you gave your brain to somebody else, they'd think like you do. And I talked to Billy Sherrill about it. He said, boy, that's a hit song. We gave it to Johnny. And when I did it, you'll understand why he did what he did. When I sang it, Johnny came in there and said, you that boy wrote that song about that chicken? Why couldn't you make me a squirrel or a dog or something else, anything but a chicken? And Johnny Cash, it was a scary looking dude. And I thought, well, should I jump out this window of the third floor or should I just hang around and take my beating right here in this office? It worked out well and they were beautiful people. I miss him too. Hank, I sure miss you. Especially being here in your tabernacle. It went like this. I'll have to go through a change. I got a dressing room here, I'll go through a change so I can be Johnny Cash.
Who's that with you, Gary?
Okay, I'm Johnny Cash. And my backup picture is Roger Wilson. Luther Perkins, the late great, was full Johnny's picture.
Let's do that later.
Well, for 2 long years, my head hurt bad, so my doctor checked me and he shook his head. Said, I hate to tell you, boy, but your body's outlived your brain. He said, I know this doctor up in New York, son. He'll fix you right up with a brand new one. So the head doctor met me when I climbed down off the train. He said, now, we had a bank robber killed last night. His body's shot, but his brain's all right. We'll give you a new brain, Cash, and you'll be okay. I got my new brain in, and I was feeling great. I drove right back to Nashville with no headache. But something strange happened when I walked in the bank one day. I yelled, stick 'em up, everybody, I'm robbing the place. Drop all of your money in my guitar case. Don't nobody move, nobody reach for that door. Some lady said, why, you're Johnny Cash. I said, no, ma'am, I'm the Manhattan Flash. And I am the best bank robber in New York. Now, last Friday night, Roy Acuff called me, said, John, I'd like for you to do the opera. Well, I walked out on that stage, but I couldn't sing. I did half of a verse if I walked the line. Something snapped in this brain of mine. I yelled, stick 'em up, give me your money. You'll watch this and ring. I called New York for that brain quack. I said, Doc, I've got to have my old brain back. He said, sorry, Mr. Cash, we can't do that. He said, we put your brain in a chicken last Monday. He's singing your songs, making lots of money. We even got him signed to a 10-year recording contract. Now, friends, if you see me walking down the street, just remember what you see ain't necessarily me, and if I try to stick you up, don't pay me no mind. When you got $10 you want to blow, you're to catch that Johnny Chicken show. He's doing fairs and concert dates up and down the line. Calls himself Chicken in Black. Rides around in a coupe, Dippy. Oh well, chicks love him. Oh, thank you so much. That's fun. Thank you, John.
Welcome back once again, everybody, to Roger Hurricane Wilson's American Music Show. We're on this edition. This is show number 145, and it's in the continuing celebration of the 100th birthday of Hank Williams Sr. This is being recorded in September of 2023, and we just recently, before this recording, was celebrating the 100th anniversary at the Hank Williams Museum in Montgomery, Alabama, where I was able to hang out with a wonderful songwriter friend of mine, Gary Gentry, who I'm going to feature in this next set. And this set goes back to 2010, when Gary appeared also at the Hank Williams Museum, but he's a very fine songwriter. Wrote the song called "The Ride," which I had the honor of performing. But also he had some cuts for George Jones and Johnny Paycheck and David Allen Coe and folks like that. And Johnny Cash did this one song here. It was about a chicken that Gary had written. So Gary tells the story about it. He told it in that first excerpt that you just heard. And we're going to continue right now with a couple more songs, including the one that was a hit for George Jones, including $2 Pistol. So you're hearing it right here on Roger Hurricane Wilson's American Music Show, being recorded September 2023, celebrating the 100th birthday of Hank Williams Sr.
One of my favorite songwriters, Tom T. Hall, he and Charles did a documentary on Hank. And that's always fascinated Tom, the trail up to Oak Hill, West Virginia, and the museum and everything that went on around Hank. One day, I was sitting around and wrote a song about Tom. And after I did this song, they put it out on Electric Curve Records, and it went number 40 before it died, and then they kicked me off the label. But it went up there about number 40, and Tom and I became good friends. He's a good man, and he thinks a lot of that fella right over there. And I sure wish we'd get Tom down here sometime. He's a storyteller, and I tell stories about Tom. So here's a little song I had out. It goes like a, and I appreciate you just jumping in with me, Roger. I know we ain't rehearsed or nothing, but hey, it don't matter. We're bunch of friends.
We'll do it.
Last night I was picking in a bar room just south of San Antonio when this rich old buzzard walked up and said he didn't like none of my songs. I said to mister, you'll take a front row seat, buy a drink, and pull off your coat. I'll sing you a whole bunch of great songs that I wrote. Well, he pulled off his hat and lit a big cigar, then he ordered up a couple of beers. By the time I sang 2 numbers, I had opened up the old boy's ears. He said, son, I don't know nothing about country music, but you're the best songwriter I know. I said, sit back down and I'll sing you some more that I wrote. I sang Remember the Year that Clayton Delaney died. Sang Harbor Valley PTA and Watermelon Wine. And after I liked beer, he said, come over here. And he pulled out a backwater dough. He said, son, I'll pay cash for every one of them songs you wrote. Now, friends, y'all know that I didn't write any of them songs. And Tom T. Hall knows I didn't write any of them songs. But that fat old man with that big water money did not know I did not write all them songs. So, I sold all the Tom T. songs last night. I can't never go back to Nashville, but that's all right. There's a sucker born every minute, and when I felt that big fish bite, well, I sold all the Tom T. songs last night. After he paid me $100,000 for all them songs, he says, boy, don't I need a patent or a copyright or something to protect all these songs from getting stolen? And I said, yeah, if I was you, I'd do something quick. Because, you know, all these tunes is real hot. I sold all the Tom T. songs last night. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. One day I was sitting in a liquor store. When I got to Nashville, I had to get me a real job. And I was working down at the liquor store at night. And I used to pick up a lot of dialogue, a lot of things people said, come in there. One afternoon, the lawn guy come in. He'd come in by them little bitty bottles of charter whiskey. Them little airplane bottles. And he came in one day and I said, Ed, you better drink some water, man. It's hot out there. Hot? What you mean hot? It's hotter than a $2 pistol. I thought, that don't make a good song. So I wrote it and went down, and George and Nancy come in one day and he cracked up. I cannot do this song like George Jones. But out of that, I got a Corvette on the a Corvette song, and I just gave it to my boy 3 days ago for Christmas. An antique 1984 Corvette, same one that the year that George cut it. And it goes like this. I stopped to home at the quick sack for some beer and cigarettes. Old man took my money and he stared at my Corvette. Said I had one just like her son. 1963, till a man down at the bank took her from me. I had one that was hotter than a $2 pistol. She was the fastest thing around. All the pain every young man's dream turned of a head in town. She was built fun to handle, son. I'm glad that you dropped in. She reminds me of the one I loved back then. Well, I handed him the keys and said, here, take this thing for a spin. Old man scratched his head and then he looked at me and grinned. He said, boy, you just don't understand. Ain't the car I want. It's a brunette out in that vet that turns me on. I had one that was hotter than a $2 pistol. She was the fastest thing around. All the pain ever young man's dream turned of a head in town. She was built fun to handle, son. Glad that you dropped in. She reminds me of the one I loved back then. All right. Thank you. Thanks very much. They down told Johnny Paycheck recorded one of my songs, and I ought to be ashamed to do it, but I'll do it anyway. It don't offend nobody. It's just about the way things were back then. It was like this. It's in the Just Divorced album that David did. Some people are proud when they're just married. David had one called Just Divorced. She packed her bags and moved to Florida. Hey, I've been blue since she's been gone. And this old Bowling Green motel room has been my old Kentucky home. All she left me was some whiskey and these funny cigarettes she rolled. It must have been her main intention to send my sweet dreams up in smoke. Well, it's another bluegrass morning. I wanna blow my mind away. In this old Bowling Green motel room, looks like it's gonna be another bluegrass day. She's sipping drinks down by the ocean, and I'm a guzzling blue Kentucky moon. She's soaking up the sun in Florida, and I'm smoking up this motel room. And it's another bluegrass morning. I'm gonna blow my mind away. This old Bowling Green motel room looks like it's gonna be another bluegrass day. Hey, thank you. Thank you. I'd like to do one more song for my man, and I'd like to do this one especially for Charles Carr, my new friend, and Cecil just became family. He don't know it yet, but him and Beth and Jeff and all of them are now officially family. those of you who weren't here last night, I wrote this song first with J.B. Detterline called Hank and Lefty. And I love Lefty Brazil, but I wanted Hank to have his very own piece of work. And I did lots of things you shouldn't do back then to go to the edge and out there to the limit to get this song. And to this day, it's been recorded by about 9 different major artists. And my new friend here I just met, Roger Wilson, also recorded it, called The Ride. Go ahead. Well, I was stumbling from Montgomery. I had my guitar on my back when a stranger stopped beside me in an antique Cadillac. He was dressed like 1950, half drunk and hollow eyed. Said, it's a long walk to Nashville, would you like to ride, son? I sat down in the front seat, and I did. He turned on the radio. Them sad old songs coming out of them speakers was solid country gold. I noticed a stranger was ghost white pale when he asked me for a light. And I knew there was something strange about this ride. When he said, Mister, can you make folks cry when you play and sing? Have you paid your dues? Can you moan the blues? Can you bend them guitar strings? Or can you make folks feel what you feel inside? But if you're big star bound, let me warn you, it's a long hard ride. Take one there, buddy. He cried just south of Nashville. Turned that car around. He said, this is where you get off, son, because I'm going back to Montgomery, Alabama. As I stepped down into that Cadillac, I said, Mr. Many thanks. He said, hey, you don't have to call me Mr. Boy. The whole world calls me Hank. And he said, River, can you make folks cry? You play and sing. Have you paid your dues? Can you moan the blues? Can you bend them guitar strings? Or can you make folks feel what you feel inside? Oh, 'cause if you're a big star bound, let me warn you, it's a long, hard ride. He came to warn everybody. It's a dangerous ride, ain't it, Mr. Carr? And 57 years later, y'all are still celebrating what I done for you. God bless you. Thank you, Mr. Hank. Long, hard ride.
Jerry, Victor, and Roger Wilson, thank you so much.
Thank you, Roger. Appreciate it. Roger Wilson, let's give him a big round of applause. He's good. Panama Red, Lynn McCray, and everybody. Just enjoyed you so much. And the Shuffert family that was here earlier, the family. The little 12-year-old girl and the grandson, I enjoyed them so much. Thank you, folks. Thank you.
All right, so that's the set from 2010 with Gary Gentry, Nashville songwriter, good friend of mine. I'm playing guitar with him, but he wrote all those great songs, and this was from the Hank Williams Museum back on New Year's Day in 2010. I'm going to move ahead here. There was another set we did the next year in 2011. Going to just let it play right here on the American Music Show, and it's featuring myself doing some tracks and some stuff with Gary Gentry. So we're just going to let that play. This is from 2011. We didn't get together again until just for the 100th birthday of Hank Williams in September of 2023 for at the Hank Williams Museum in Montgomery, Alabama. So anyway, just kind of throwing this show together. Also got a special treat toward the end. Going to feature Braxton Shuffert, who was no longer with us, but he was a little older than Hank, and he was Hank Williams Sr.'s best friend, basically responsible for giving Hank the hillbilly sound that he came along with later on. So we got all kinds of stuff that goes back a number of years, and we're going to throw it into this show right here on Roger Hurricane Wilson's American Music Show.
I want to introduce a man who's been here once or twice now, I think. This is his third time coming back. Did a lot of playing down in Louisiana, all around the South. Currently residing in Kennesaw, Georgia. Please welcome Roger Hurricane Wilson.
Yeah. I got a Hank song here I've been doing for a while. This is one I think you don't hear it very much anymore, but I've kind of rearranged it as more of a Piedmont style blues tune. A thing called The Blues Come Around. Once I was happy as I could be, but I let a gal make a fool of me. And ever since she let me down, the blues come around when the sun goes down. Oh, the blues come around. Oh, the blues come around. Oh, the blues come around every evening when the sun goes down. Doggone blues never made me cry. But ever since she left this town, the blues come around when the sun goes down. Oh, the blues come around. Oh, the blues come around. Oh, the blues come around every evening when the sun goes down. Ever since she tore it down, the blues come around when the sun goes down. Oh, the blues come around. Oh, the blues come around. Oh, the blues come around every evening when the sun goes down. Once she called me all her own, now she's gone and I'm alone. Every evening I'm sorrow bound, the blues come around when the sun goes down. Oh, the blues come around. Oh, the blues come around. Oh, the blues come around every evening when the sun goes down. Oh, the blues come around. Oh, the blues come around. Oh, the blues come around every evening when the sun goes down. Now, this next song here is one that I thought would be fitting for today. To see Montgomery in the Rain. I think we're seeing it today. But I always love this song here. It was written by a songwriter named Steve Young called Montgomery in the Rain. Your baby, you don't have to go get no gun. Well, how can you blame me for things that I ain't never done? Well, I used to live here, but now I've come back again. Just to stop for a while and to think how things might have been. Come back to read it's alright with you before I get back on the train. I just want to see Montgomery in the rain. Around these streets and old houses are a whole lot of changes I've been through. From the top of the town to feeling down to washing cars and shining shoes. Well, I once met a woman here with ways like I've never seen. We used to ramble from here to old New Orleans. Come back to remember the joy and the pain. It won't be long till I'm gone, 'cause it ain't the same. But I did want to see Montgomery in the rain. Just came back here to stare at an old window pane. One last look before you tear it all down with your brain. You don't have to hide your baby, you don't have to go get no gun. Don't just stare like I'm crazy as if I was Hank's own son. Well, I had to come back to remember the joy and the pain. It won't be long till I'm gone, 'cause it ain't the same. It's alright with you before I get back on the train. I'm gonna go out to Hank's tombstone and cry up the thunderstorm chain. I gotta see Montgomery in the rain. You don't have to hide your baby, you don't have to go get no gun. Well, how can you blame me for things that I ain't never done? I used to live here, but now I'm come back again. Just to stop for a while and to think how things might have been. Well, I had to come back to remember the joy and the pain. It's alright with you before I get back on the train. Just wanna see Montgomery in the rain.
Roger Hurricane Wilson's American Music Show.
Well, if the wife and I fuss about it, that's alright. 'Cause me and that woman's got a license to fight. Why don't you mind your own business? Why don't you mind your own business? Well, if you mind your own business, then you won't be minding mine. The woman on the party line's the nosiest thing. She picks up her receiver when she knows it's my ring. Why don't you mind your own business? Why don't you mind your own business? Well, if you mind your own business, then you won't be minding mine. I got a little gal who wears her hair up high. The boys all whistle when she walks by. Why don't you mind your own business? Why don't you mind your own business? Well, if you mind your own business, then you won't be minding mine. Well, buddy, that's my headache, don't you worry about me. Why don't you mind your own business? Why don't you mind your own business? Well, if you mind your own business, then you won't be minding mine. Minding other people's business seems to be high tone. I got all I can do just to mind my own. Why don't you mind your own business? Why don't you mind your own business? Well, if you mind your own business, then you won't be minding mine. Well, if you mind your own business, then you won't be minding mine. Try so hard, my dear, to show that you're my every dream. Yet you're afraid each thing I do is just some evil scheme. A memory from your lonesome past keeps us so far apart. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart? And so my heart is paying now the things I didn't do. In anger, unkind words I said to make the teardrops start. Another love before my time made your heart sad and blue. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart? Well, you'll never know how much it hurts to see you sit and cry. You know you need and want my love, but you're afraid to try. Why do you run and hide from life? To try it just ain't smart. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart? There was a time when I believed that you belonged to me, but now I know your heart is shackled to a memory. The more I learn to care for you, the more we drift apart. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart? Why can't I free your doubtful mind? Melt your cold, cold heart.
Really want to thank you for tuning in to Roger Hurricane Wilson's American Music Show. It's always great to hear from you. You can email me at roger@hurricanewilson.com. That's ROGER at hurricanewilson.com. The website is hurricanewilson.com. There's also a place there where you can listen to previous versions of the American Music Show at hurricanewilson.com. Love having you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Roger Wilson Guitar. And the other pages are our Facebook page, which is Roger Hurricane Wilson, Instagram under Roger Hurricane Wilson Guitar, Twitter at Roger Hurricane W, and of course on SoundCloud at Roger Hurricane Wilson. And there's a couple of other pages on Facebook. One's a like page, and a group page. So it's always great to hear from you here as we share the music on Roger Hurricane Wilson's American Music Show. Thanks for being along.
Came in last night about 10:30. The lady of mine, she wouldn't let me in, so move it on over. Move it on over. Move over, little dog, 'cause the big dog's moving in. Well, she changed the lock on my front door, and now my key don't fit no more, so get it on over. Scoot it on over. I move over, skinny dog, 'cause the fat dog's moving in. Well, the doghouse here is mighty small, but it's a lot better than no house at all, so rock it on over. Drag it on over. I move over, little dog, 'cause the big dog's moving in. She told me not to play around, but I've done let the deal go down, so jump on over. Told it on over. I move over, nice dog, 'cause the bad dog's moving in. Hey. She warned me once, she warned me twice, but I don't take no one's advice, so scratch it on over. Shake it on over. Move over, short dog, 'cause the tall dog's moving in. Well, she crawled back to me on her knees, but I'll be busy scratching fleas, so slide it on over. Sneak it on over. I move over, good dog, 'cause the bad dog's moving in. Well, remember, pup, before you whine, that side's yours and this side's mine, so slide it on over. Sweep it on over. I move over, little dog, 'cause the big dog's moving in. Well, move it on over, move it on over, we'll slide it on over, rock it on over. I move over, tall dog, 'cause the big dog's moving in. I move over, little dog, 'cause the short dog's moving in. I move over, big dog, 'cause the bad dog's moving in.
That's yours truly, Roger Hurricane Wilson, back from 2011 at the Hank Williams Museum, celebrating the, that was on New Year's Day of 2011, celebrating, or commemorating, I should say, the death of Hank Williams. It took place on January 1st, 1953. Anyway, we're going to move along right here. Got a great little set by a guy named Braxton Shuffert. This guy was about 5 years or so, 4 or 5 years older than Hank. He was Hank's best friend in Montgomery, and was a kind of a country singer-songwriter. And he was friends with Hank, and where Hank learned how to play guitar from a blues man named T-Tot in Montgomery. Braxton Shuffert more or less showed him the way to come about with getting the hillbilly sound that Hank had. So without me talking a whole lot about it, I'm going to let you hear Braxton Shuffert.
Nice job, steel guitar rag. All right, folks, we got a special treat for you. First off, let me name off the bands here. That was Dennis Pardo from Baltimore, Maryland on the steel guitar. Backing up Mr. Shipper, we've got Mr. John Wise from Parts Unknown over in Georgia. Frank Brandon, right? Frank, you from Georgia? Where are you from? Griffin, Georgia, Frank Brandon. And now on the stage is a very special guest. I introduced him earlier as he was sitting down. A gentleman that knew Hank Williams when Hank was 14 or 15 years old, back in 1938. This gentleman was working for the Hormel Meat Company, delivering meat around Montgomery and playing guitar and playing on the radio, and became good friends with Hank Williams. And to this day, he remains good friends with Hank Williams. Hank wrote him a couple songs, and he's going to perform them for you here. Y'all please make welcome Mr. Braxton Shuffert.
Thank you. A few years back, I started writing gospel songs. You know, I heard the preacher say, well, but two places to go, one of them to heaven, the other in hell. So I said, well, I better start something where the Lord start recognizing me, know which way I want to go. So I started writing gospel songs. Here's one I wrote about Mary and Mary Wallace down at Georgiana. I sang it down there in June. All of you know Mary. She lived her life for Hank Williams. I've been singing with her down there for around 30 years at least. I wrote this song, Mary, and I sang it down at Georgiana. And she said, Braxton, when I die, I want you to sing it at my funeral. But I had to be at Auburn, and I couldn't go down there today. But here's a song, Mary. You don't know the key call, so here we go. Over indeed. Mary, just a four-letter word. Mary, just so simple and plain. Mary, she lived just to love. Mary, oh, Mary was her name. Many years ago, someone named Mary gave birth to our Lord and our King. Our Lord, we love the name Mary. Mary, oh, Mary was her name. Little children called her just Mary. She loved them all just the same. The birds and the animals, they loved her. Mary, oh, Mary was her name. Many years ago, someone named Mary gave birth to our Lord and our King. Our Lord, we love the name Mary. With the angels, I know she can sing. thank you boys here very much for backing me up. I can hardly sing that song without crying, thinking about Mary Wallace.
Roger Hurricane Wilson's American Music Show.
Hank and myself wrote this song in less than 30 minutes over in Detroit. You know that, don't you? I ain't lazy, I'm just tired. I get me a job and then I get fired. Instead of work, but it makes me weak. I can let out the sun and fall off sound asleep. I'm a rocket jet daddy from Montgomery. And the woman I'm married, she sure got the wig on me. She got to boil my coffee and strain my tea. But I'm a rockin' chair daddy from way down in Montgomery. Take it on, boys. Job left on this earth. People on the paper, what you wear, so they know you. I've been working so hard, cause I ain't even got me a union card. I'm a rocket jet daddy from Montgomery. And the woman I'm married, she sure got the wig on me. She got to boil my coffee and strain my tea. Cause I'm a rockin' chair daddy from when I'm in Montgomery. Very much. Hank, myself wrote that song.
Roger Hurricane Wilson's American Music Show.
I just love it. And you can sing this in church, in the fellowship hall, and then enjoy it there. While strolling through a lovely garden, as day was drawing to a close, my eyes beheld the tragic story. I saw a teardrop on a rose. It should have been a chill gladness, but deep inside the sorrow shows. Our trusting heart had just been broken. I saw a teardrop on the road. A sobbing tear that falls parting knows all the pain sorrow knows. Braxton Shuffert. Thank you all for listening, and I thank these boys very much for backing me up.
All right, so those were some tracks there by Braxton Shuffert. He was Hank Williams Sr.'s best friend, the late Braxton Shuffert. He was, I think, in his early to mid-'90s there, and that was back in 2011 at the Hank Williams Museum, so that was a little treat here that I was able to record and capture. And in the meantime, we'll fast forward to 2023, September, for Hank Williams Sr.'s 100th birthday. This is yours truly, along with Andy Norman and the Jukebox All-Stars in Montgomery, Alabama, at the celebration at the Davis Theater. And this will happen on September 16th, 2023. It's yours truly, The Ride, and we're introducing Gary Gentry, the songwriter that was there, and he also played at the beginning of the set here that you heard in the show. So until next time, keep it in the road.
The gentleman that wrote this song is here today. Mr. Gary Gentry is a good friend of mine, and he wrote this song here called The Ride. How about a big hand to Gary with him, huh? Sat down in the front seat. He turned on the radio. Them sad old songs coming out of them speakers was solid country gold. And I noticed the strain his ghost light fell when he asked me for a light. And I knew there was something strange about this ride. He said, "Can you folks cry when you play and sing? And you pay your dues, and you mourn the blues, and you reach all strings." He said, "Boy, can you folks feel what you feel inside? If the big star down of your morning is all right. If your big star down of your morning." "This is where you get off, boy, because I'm going back out there." And as I stepped out of the Cadillac, I said, "Mister, many thanks." He said, "You don't have to call me Mister, Mister. The whole world called me Hank." He said, "Can you make folks cry when you play and sing? And you pay your dues, and you mourn the blues, and you get all strings." He said, "Boy, can you make folks feel what you feel inside? If your big star down when you want it for a ride." He said, "Can you make folks cry when you play and sing? And you pay your dues, and you mourn the blues, can you get all strings?" He said, "Boy, can you make folks feel what you feel inside? Thank y'all so much. How about we keep going all stars? How about come on, give it up for me?
You have been listening to Roger Hurricane Wilson's American Music Show here on 88.5 KALA with your host, longtime touring musician, recording artist, songwriter, and guitar instructor, Roger Hurricane Wilson. This is David Baker, reminding you to tune in each week at this same time for Roger Hurricane Wilson's American Music Show here on 88.5 KALA, where the jazz is and the blues are.